Hey, I am here with Len Breskowitz. He is the business coach and exit planning advisor extraordinaire. And Len, boy, have I got a question for you that I think comes up a lot, but pay attention because this is a good one. What is a major valuation killer?
Two words, owner dependency.
Owner dependency. Okay, that's a new one. We're going to unpack that. So, what is that? And what are the earliest signs that we have an owner dependency problem? And what should they
Yeah,
be doing?
yeah. So owner dependency means that the business can't operate without the owner's, you know, detailed and in-depth involvement in the business. One of the things I talk about is as an indicator of this is can the business owner take a 2 week vacation from the
Mm.
business without their phone, without their laptop?
Out their
That is
phone.
they can take their phone, just they can't be business related, right? So what that does, and it's a bit of a proxy for can the business run by itself?
Right.
And the reason that's really important is that when a business owner goes to sell, they're not selling themselves. They're selling this entity that is going to generate revenue and profits for a new for the buyer, for a new owner. And if the existing owner is so important and so involved in every decision, that's going to have a huge impact on the valuation and may actually make the business unsaleable. So
Wow.
that's owner dependency, and indicators of it within a company are anytime an employee is asked a question by a client, by a vendor, whoever, if they have to say, I have to ask the owner, that's a pretty good idea, right? That tells you there isn't process in place. The employees aren't empowered to make decisions on their own. And so that's a really big indicator that there's too much owner dependence. The other is if, again, if the owner is always there because he or she has to be there, another great indicator that there's a problem.
Yeah, those are, in my world, I would say those are great symptoms to look at. But that's got to be so classic. We always hear the I don't know, let me ask kind of a thing. It must be a struggle sometimes you find that leaders who are creating that environment of dependence, how hard is it to get them to realize you are not the business?
Yeah, it's difficult because again, there's a bit of an identity crisis going on, especially think if you've run a business for 30 years and now, all of a sudden you're kind of being asked to step aside. So there's an identity crisis that comes into play. For some owners, it's a bit of a power play, right? I'm the only one that can do this. What gets them out of their thinking, to be honest with you, typically is dollar signs. I have some rather frank conversations with my clients to say, if you can't let go, your business is worth $0. And that's typically how the conversation evolves to a place where they say, okay, I understand that I need to let go. And the other piece of that is, a lot of the business owners I'm dealing with are getting to that age where they're saying, I do want to do something else. So I think it's a combination of those factors that finally get the ball rolling.
Priorities are shifting a little bit, and your baby's 30 years old or however many years old. It's grown up, right?
Mhm.
So they have to kind of learn to let that go a little bit. But I think that's important. You said that the identity piece, that letting go what you've worked so hard for, but knowing, I think that's powerful to say it's worth zero if you can't go there. That's
Agreed.
huge. Yeah, that's a motivator.
I
That's a
like to
motivator.
think so.
All
The
right.
final and the final stat is that 100% of business owners are not going to run their company forever, right? That's the other piece. At some point, you
Right.
need you need to move on.
Right, exactly. So be prepared for that whenever that's going to happen. And that can't be something you can just turn on tomorrow or next week either.
Not at all. Not at all.
So
It's a
what's it?
process that takes time.
I was going to say, just can you give us an idea? Like, are we talking a year, 2 years?
I like to say 3 to 5. It's really 3 to 5 years, and there are some very clear components to that lead me to that. Can it be done sooner? Yes, if you've already taken a bunch of the steps. But I like to say for a business that really hasn't started to think about this, it's a multi-year process.
So the runway you have to get on the runway a lot earlier than you might think.
Yes,
Wow.
absolutely.
Awesome. Len, that has been incredible food for thought. Thank you very much for sharing that and answering my questions.
Thank you.